is a pleasure, and thank you very much once again for joining us on this episode of Mental Health. Beyond the Surface is a program that comes to you to discuss matters regarding mental balance. And today we carry the conversation on the road as we discuss the stress, the pressure, the issues that affect you and I, the drivers on the road, and how best can we manage all these issues. Now, bringing us to this discussion, he is the chairperson of the Lorry Drivers and Transporters Association, Mr. Byron Kinene. Thank you very much for joining us on this topic of discussion.
Nice to see you guys. I'm Byron Kinene. I'm the chairperson for Regional Lorry Drivers and the Transporters Association. And also, I'm a heavy goods drivers instructor, certified by Ministry of Works. So, on the other hand, I'm a trainer, and I head an institution which is called the Regional Lorry Drivers and Transporters Association.
Mr. Byron Kinene, first and foremost, who is a mentally stable driver?
Well, first of all, the word you have used, the word driver. We go back to the norms and say, who is a driver? A driver is someone who is trained, who is assessed that he is fit to be trained as a driver. So, then after he is trained, he is assessed that he qualifies to be a driver for a particular vehicle. So, when he qualifies, he becomes a driver. That is a driver. But now, we are challenged that first of all, here in Uganda or maybe in East Africa, we have the kind of those people, we have a few of them, who are first of all assessed that you can be a capable driver if you are trained. People just wake up, sit on the steering, and their colleagues think they are training them to become drivers. And they are picked from there. They are given jobs, and they are called drivers. So that is those are the drivers now we have. And you see the difference from the policy and the real thing.
What does the current policy say about driving, Mr. Byron Kinene?
Well, the policy say any driver, not a commercial driver, but any driver must first of all be assessed and that you are able to drive a certain vehicle if you are trained. It is like going to school. This just going to school. A child, when he is taken to school, is given a small interview. Do you have a sound mind? Can you learn? Can you understand? Are you disabled or you are not? So maybe because you can be taken to school, when you can't hear. So if you are deaf, so you have another category of learning. If you don't talk, you have another category. But so you must be assessed that you are fit for learning driving. Then from there, you are trained by a qualified trainer. Again, you are assessed that you have passed the test. You qualify to get a license. All those assessments. Now, if you qualify, you are given a license. And you must be monitored how you are behaving on the road. If not, your license need to be cancelled. But now, going back, we lost the track. We lost the track. So, we just learned on the job. Now, if we are there, we can get again good drivers. If we go back to the driving board and say, where did we mess up? These are the drivers we are having now. Why don't we upgrade their standard to meet the standard of driving? Because now, today, we are given international driving licenses. But the people who are given international driving licenses, are they international in understanding about driving? The philosophy, the norms of driving are well documented. But You are given an international driving permit. Do you qualify on the international level to get that international license? If you qualify, you must show. You must have passed it somewhere. But now, where have you passed to get an international driving license? Nowhere. Now, if you have it, okay, again we can put you to order. And we need to use now we need to use the government, we need to use the instructors to put such people in order. That's why you see sometimes like people, when they go to the bush, they fight, they win the war. When they come, after winning, they take their men and women back to the training. So that they bring them to order. Okay, the other one was a bush game. But today, you are now seated. So, the other one, you have been driving. Okay. But today, we want a real driver who is sitting behind the steering and who is going to share the road with other road users respectively.
So when do we tell that somebody is mentally unstable? When it comes to the drivers?
You know, the driver, anything, if you give someone a job which he doesn't know how to be conducted, and that job has challenges, he doesn't have the tactics of fighting those challenges. It is like a picking a lady from maybe your window that you are going to marry. If at all she comes to your home, however good the home is, if she gets challenges, because you didn't pass through the aunties, blah, blah, she was not brought up by a good family, but now she ends up in a family. If at all you get challenges, that lady will end up witchcraft, blah, blah, rugambo, anything, because she doesn't know exactly what to do, and doesn't have people to consult. Today, as we have that kind of drivers, the stress is high in the transport. People, mostly the owners of the vehicles, are looking at the profit. You are my driver. I'm looking at the profit. That is my interest. Maybe that vehicle is on a loan. I have to service my loan. But now it is you, the driver, to know what tax you are going to use to satisfy your master, and again, to do good on the road, because on the road, it is risky. It is risky. We are sharing roads with people of different categories, people of different thoughts. Now this is a driver, maybe, who has not been paid for 3 months, and he has challenges at home. He has challenges elsewhere. And even the way to handle his money, even if he's getting it, is out of his conscience. So now, we need someone who is capable. Now, so all of that brings stress. And for us, we call it fatigue. A driver can be fatigued when he has not worked in a moment. The man slept at his home. But during the night, they were quarreling with the wife. So, please, we don't have food here. Children are going back to school. Please, I told you this. I want to make my hair, blah, blah. So the driver spends the night quarreling. So in the morning, that is the same driver who's going to leave his home without the home being satisfied, and he's going to sit on the steering. Again, when he drives, the wife calls, please, you have gone. But the money you have left me, you have left with me, is not enough. That man is picking a phone, he's on the steering, he's already stressed, he's fatigued. When he calls the boss quarrels. Please, I don't have money. If you don't want, you leave my truck there. The man doesn't want to leave the job, because at least maybe he comes back with a sack of charcoal, with maybe one banana, or something maybe to feed his family. Just that little can maintain him on work. So that man is already stressed. He can't force his boss to pay him. He can't force anybody to give him money. He doesn't want to leave the job. The family is thinking that this man is getting a lot of money, but he spends it unnecessarily, maybe with other women. His children are not going to school. He's driving a big vehicle. He's respected on the road. So totally the man is challenged, the man is stressed, the man is fatigued, and don't expect anything good from that person.
I've heard people say that sex is a remedy for the drivers. I would want to pick your opinion on this as somebody who has been in this game for quite a very long period of time.
Well, today, that part, I think, today is not too much because all of men and women, I think maybe are entertained by that. But now, for the driver, this is a man who takes many days without his family. This is a man who can think, when I have another wife, maybe I can release my stress. Because as I told you, at home when he goes back, it is just quarrels. He can't enjoy when they are just quarreling. This, we don't have school fees, we don't have this, we don't have this. So he can't enjoy at home. Sometimes when he goes out, that's where he can maybe enjoy. And those are facts. But now, I don't think today it is the game. Because now we have good vehicles. Drivers are not still getting a good money. So there is no money to spend on the way. And you know, sex needs money. But where is the money?
So, Mr. Byron, there are people driving long distance. Take, for instance, a journey from Kampala to Mbalala, and there are those driving from within. Which of these journeys is more stressing?
The longer distances. The longer distances. Because if it is a short, sometimes those people who are doing short distances, they listen to radios, to development programs. They can make it, because they can get the ideas of running some small businesses, or even make a small businesses for their wives. But now, these longer distances, this is a man who can leave his home. He goes where there is no network. His phones are off. The radios are off. Now, only he's depending on the music, blah, blah. He goes, spends a month there. He comes back. They are not well knowledgeable. They are not knowledgeable at all to make a small businesses, to cater for their well-being at home.
Mr. Byron, talk to us about the people you represent that use drugs while they are executing their day-to-day duties.
When we are starting this job of driving, more especially longer distances, we were trained on job. So if someone who trained you thought using drugs can help maybe to drive at night, to drive longer distances without rest, to drive, and then at the end they become addicted. So you who is trained by such a person, you need also to adopt that. Without any cause. Because now you find people who are using drugs. You ask, but exactly, why are you using drugs? He says, no, you know, the person who trained me driving was also using it. So I adopted that behavior. And now, when they become addicted, they need counseling, high counseling. And sometimes some people, when they try to leave the drugs, again, they can't do anything. They can't drive, they fall sick, some even have run mad. So they need proper counseling and guidance, which I don't think we are ready for.
Now, regarding resting, how long or short should a driver rest? Mr. Kinene.
Oh, a driver would have driven not more than 4 hours. Not more than 4 hours, and he rests. And a driver needs to rest. That's why I told you training is very important, because you find some people go to resting places. The trucks, they park at the trucks. It is only the trucks which rests. For them, they go for boozing. They go for engaging different partners. You find them going to real sleeping at 3 a.m. And there he wants his partner to pay back what he spent. You find they have not slept. Morning comes when the driver himself, who is going to control the machine, didn't rest. It is only the machine which rested. Now, who is going to control the other? Will it be vice versa? No. These people need to understand the reason is why a driver must rest, and they need to rest. You need to rest because that machine is very, it needs to be, when the controller is totally sober. Because really, that's why you see, crashes are crashes. And a crash means death. There's no joke. A crash means death. It is not like you are going to make a mistake and then you collect it. You can't collect a mistake in driving. It is just death.
You talked about the training and the policy. I would want to find out what is embedded in the training that you offer to the drivers.
Well, we teach drivers philosophy. Those are the modules. We teach customer care. There is a driver's fitness to drive. How a driver, because a driver must, first of all, assess himself that I'm fit for driving. If I'm not fit, I don't touch the steering. There is the defensive driving, that is also there, and the other modules. So they are like 6 modules in the training, and the driver must complete all of them. Because with the philosophy, we go back to the norms. Who is a driver? How do you behave? How do you need to be, because now, like if you are taking alcohol, and you know, tomorrow you are going to drive, what content will you take? Are you supposed to take? If you know you are driving the following day, there is a certain content you need to take, and you need to rest. When you park the vehicle, you are given only 30 minutes when you are also preparing to go and rest. Not to park there the vehicle, for you are enjoying something, you are on the pool, you are drinking, you are doing what, you are doing what, when it is only the vehicle which is resting. When we go to the customer care, the customer has also his interests. He needs you to be very fast. He needs the goods to reach in the earlier the better. But you need to be sober and say, please, okay, this is my job. I know how to do it effectively, take the goods, also in your time, which will not cause chaos to other road users.
Regarding the health checkup, I would like to find out how often should a driver visit a medical personnel for checkup?
Oh, that needs to be frequently. But now, that's another game because the drivers need counter treatment. That's what I mean. Like a 90%, take what we call a counter treatment. They go to the counter, ask for drugs. I feel this, give me this type. I feel this, give me this type. Not many have gone for checking. First of all, what is the time for checking? Now you have driven. You are at the border. They are not doctors. They are just people masquerading as a medical officer. They are not there. You have gone to Sudan. You have gone to Congo. Where really are the qualified people? And when you come in Kampala, you don't have that time. You are in the garage. You are in loading. You are in where you want to go. And when you are by the way, drivers don't want to stay in one place for a long time. They spend a lot, and the money which they don't have. So they want counter, please give me Panado, give me. And because the other team also is not qualified, the so-called medical people, they are not well qualified. They don't ask, why are you asking for this type? And by the way, another thing, when they are given drugs in the vehicle, there is a lot of heat. The places where they go. Imagine to lock your tablets in that truck. There's a lot of heat. And the following evening, those are the tablets you are going to swallow. They are also dangerous. So they need to be well informed because they don't regularly visit qualified medical people. No.
So many times I see people get involved in accidents, and one day after the incident, he's back on the road. I would like to find out, how long should one give themselves time to heal before they get back on the road?
Well, first of all, after getting an accident, the driver is supposed to report at the nearest police. Now, if he reports, the police can do his work. investigation, blah, blah. And for them, they can take a time to release this driver to go back to work. But again, as we have brought that, there are even those who don't even go for reporting. They just take off, and in just 1 week, you see him driving another vehicle. So that is also a culture which need to be looked into. And that needs full data of drivers, full supervision, and full follow-up. Because Kinene, if I make a crash in Kabale, how will people know in Kampala that this was made by Kinene? How will transporter know that, please, this was made by Kinene, I will not bring Kinene to my truck? Kinene comes and says, please, I'm a good man, I've driven for this, because the other information is left in Kabale, but we need to be with the full data and follow-up.
So what message do we have, particularly for the owners of these vehicles, Mr. Kinene?
Yeah, now, the truck owners, first of all, need to understand that these trucks, they spend a lot of money buying these trucks. 600 millions, 700, 500. Now, you pick someone just along the street and say, come and manage my money. The 500 million is out the 600. They need to respect their wealth. Secondly, they need to know, however much they want to make a profit, they need to know that there are other road users who are using those roads and they want safety. So your challenges, your problems in the business, which brings you not to afford buying good tires, not to afford attending to your truck, to work on the minor mechanical issues, which can bring big challenges. Please, you share those with your driver. Park your vehicle in your garage. Park your vehicle at your compound. Please don't allow that vehicle to go and finish innocent people. Because your issues are not their issues. They want to take their children to school. If you have loans and you have failed to service them, those are your problems. They need to respect people's lives. Secondly, they also need the truck owners to respect the drivers. If you get a call from your driver, please respect it. However much you think he's talking in nonsense, don't back at him, because he has your machine. Like when he's from, maybe, let me say, Mbalala, you are backing at him. The man is saying, please, at home, I have issues. You are backing at him. The other day, I paid you, blah, 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 blah. No. Please, you talk to them. Because he has a lot of money of yours. He's controlling a lot of money. He has your 500 millions. On your 500 million, he has loaded people's goods. Again, where is it going to pass? They are people, human beings. Those are lives. So, you please respect them, talk to them kindly. If they have smaller issues, you finish them. Now you will solve yourselves when he comes back. Because now, that's when we are going to relieve the stress. And that stress is dangerous when the drivers are on the steering.
Any recommendation to the government which takes care of the sector?
The government, as a policy maker, we have good policies. They are well documented. We have good documents. But the follow-up, the implementation, the follow-up. They only come, okay, they made good policies. The awareness, sensitization is now jumped. They come to enforcement. This awareness is very key. That's when people are informed. That's when they get the knowledge. You are doing this. If you do this, it will cause this. But for them, they jump. Because those are the three pillars on road safety: policy, awareness, and implementation. So, if you just make the policy, you jump awareness, you go to the enforcement, it is called enforcement, you go to the enforcement, the traffic police will be well dressed, very smart on the road. But now, managing something which is unmanageable. It is just awareness. They must focus, the government must focus on awareness, focus on training.
Stress and work pressure is part of those that affect a driver. I would like to pick your view on how should a driver manage stress while on the road.
Okay, such a person need to rest a bit. If he has a colleague, they can share that stress. You know, whenever you share something with a colleague, you may think this is a very big problem and people have never met it. But now, when you talk to someone, maybe he can have some a good information. Maybe he one day met first such a challenge. You can share. He can guide you. You come back to normal. You come back to normal after, when you are rested. But now, if you think you are going to keep quiet, you are stressed, you just continue the task, oh, you are going to fall into a trap.
Let's talk about retirement. When should a driver retire from active driving?
It depends. It depends. But now, people would have retired the maximum at 60. But now, if you feel you can do better outside, you can move on. You can move on.
So this particular question goes to those that actually bully or intimidate other road users. I want to pick your opinion on this matter, Mr. Kinene.
Well, the problem with that bullying, people driving big trucks to think that they are bigger than anybody. You know, a truck or any vehicle, any machine is controlled by the head, by the understanding of that person. But now, because there is no training, those people just come on the road with the jungle law. They think they are in the jungle, and so they need to chase away. But now, socially, we are coming from a community. The bigger you are, the respect you give to the smaller people. Imagine if Golola is passing in the market and is knocking everybody, who will walk alongside him? But it is Golola now to humble himself, to squeeze himself when you are using those small ways in the market. So, for us, we expect the higher you go, the higher you go, the cooler it becomes. The higher you drive a bigger vehicle, the respect you give to the people, to the smaller drivers. Because now these smaller drivers, maybe they learned yesterday, but for you, you have been in the field for a long time. So you know, and again, if you knock them, even if you don't knock them, they fear you. So it is you now to give them the respect. But because the foundation of our driving culture is different, is a jungle culture. That's why you see we are hooting. Moreover, even these the big horns which you hear in the vehicle, bah, 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 bah. For who? You are not at all allowed to chase away another road user. If you have seen me, you stop. Why are you hooting hardly? Hooting just comes when you want to alert someone that, please, I'm also allowed. It is like a saying, sorry, can I use this one? Sorry, can I pass? Don't back at me. As you can't back at me, well, please leave alone. Then that is also what is in driving. Hooting hardly is not allowed. You just hoot slightly to alert me that, please, I'm also allowed. You are using the road, but I'm also around.
And last but not the very least, I would like to find out at what age do you think, in your opinion, based on the experience you have in the driving, should somebody begin to get rolling on the road?
We need someone more special in these big trucks. For the smaller trucks, you can start at maybe 20, 80, I don't mind. But with this, as you go on graduating, because somebody must graduate. It is like a saying, at what age should I reach Makerere University? You need to come from nursery, go to primary, go to secondary. By the time you reach Makerere University, you are mature, you are reasonable. So by the time of driving big vehicles, buses, trucks, you need to have passed through the smaller vehicles. When you are doing courses, you graduate. By the time you come to the big vehicles, oh, you are done with the training and you are sober, you are mature enough.
Thank you very much, Mr. Byron. Your parting shot as we come towards the end of this very significant discussion.
Well, my closing remarks, this is our life. Driving means losing life. Today, you can't know. You may be thinking that for you, you are a good driver, when tomorrow, another careless driver is finishing you. Because like we think pedestrians die more than anybody. We are all pedestrians. Chinene, if I park my vehicle on the other side, I'm crossing to buy meat. I'm crossing to the pharmacy. I'm a pedestrian, I'm crossing. Now, if we live that culture of not respecting other road users, again, even if you are a pilot, even if you are driving a big truck, you'll be finished in that process of crossing the road. Because people don't respect you, they say, but I get it. The pedestrian is. So, we need to respect one another.
Thank you very much, Mr. Byron Kinene. He is the chairperson of the Regional Lorry Drivers and Transporters Association, bringing us to speed on matters of mental health when it comes to issues of the road. This has been Beyond the Surface. Catch up the same discussion next time. My name is Fred Makubuya.